It could be. It can mean different ways. Okay. Now I'm thinking of a different way. Okay. So we have our servants. Well, I was thinking. Okay.
You're fine.
Way before this.
You're fine, man.
Okay. So we got wheat. I don't think the wheat are. I don't think they were well. We have the crop. We have wheats and weeds. We have the good and the bad. Okay, wheat is good, weeds are bad. So, and then when it comes to harvesting, he bundles up the weeds and the wheat. Takes the weeds, the bad, burns them, and brings the wheat to his barn, into his kingdom. Which it's not just saying. We're not just thinking as heaven or his kingdom becomes servants.
We're good. No one needs
in
to
a
see
way,
me.
right? Take the wheat and becomes the servant, his servants. So into his kingdom, so they become believers then. And
True.
And that's when the harvest comes,
Mm-hmm.
and the bad burn, and they, well, wait until another crop comes, and they might become wheat at that time. It's just thinking in the cycle of the soil. It's not like actual life, but it's like the time of that wheat, the weeds to become wheat, and become wheat, and to join the barn, his kingdom, and then living in the kingdom as servants. That's when you start and going back, and what do the servants do again?
So you're thinking of it as a cycle.
Yeah, a cycle.
It's just going to keep on going
A
around.
complete cycle.
The problem with that is that when Jesus comes to harvest,
He burns all the weed. They burn it, which means that's where you go to hell. You don't get to come out of hell.
he's going to literally, if you read this, he's literally going to flip the world basically on it. He's going to actually create a whole new type of earth.
Yeah.
On it. There's no going to be on it. So the cycle is going to come to an end.
Yeah. At the point being.
Yeah.
Yep, but
on it. And that's what he's talking about when he comes to at the end. This is when he's going to harvest.
Yeah, I'm just looking at like there's 4 ways. So in this parable you have Jesus, the man.
Yep.
Okay. You have servants.
Yep.
Which are us.
The witnesses.
Yep.
They see that there's weeds and there's wheat.
Yep.
Okay. And then you have the weeds and the wheat.
Yep.
And then you have the harvesters.
Yep.
Okay. The servants as us, as believers.
Yep.
We serve and we witness to the weeds and the weeds. Okay. And then the harvesters taking the weeds from the weeds and taking the weeds to the kingdom. So therefore, as we it just sounds like the wheats will turn into the servants in a way.
The weeds?
The wheats.
Oh, you're talking about
because if you look at it as like me and you,
I understand what you're saying now on it, and that's the thing is that we do, but at the it takes every day, how can I say this? I'm not the same person I was a year ago. I'm not the same person I was a month ago.
Not the same person we were yesterday.
We're always growing
on
it. And it takes a while for us to become a wheat and everything like that. The wheat and everything's growing too. The servants are helping them cultivate it and stuff like that on it and stuff on it. And I agree. Like, I think of it as a relationship with Paul and Timothy. All right? Timothy became hanging out with Paul. Timothy became like a son to Paul. He walked with Paul. Paul was teaching him everything God was teaching him. Eventually, Timothy's going to be a Paul to somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's what we're called to do.
That's where I was coming in the cycle, and that's where the servants go witness to other weeds and in a way.
All right, so
Yeah.
I'm going to just read this last part of this because we're getting past an hour already. But this is the parable of weeds explained by Jesus. So we might as well read that. And it's going to be from 36 to 43. And then we can do some of this again later. So on it. Maybe tomorrow we'll finish up this whole chapter on it. The parables of weeds explained. Then he left the crowd and went into the house. His disciples came to him and said, "Explain to us the parable of the weeds in the field." He answered, "The one who sows the good seed, the Son of Man. The field is the world, and the good seed stands for the sons of the kingdom. The weeds are sons of the evil one, and the enemy who sows them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the age, and the harvesters are the angels. As the weeds are pulled up and burned in the fire, so it will be at the end of the age. The Son of the Man will send his angels, and they will weed out of his kingdom everything that causes sin and that does evil in the world. They will throw them into the fiery furnace, where they will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of the Father. Whoever has ears, let them hear."
Okay.
Pretty good stuff, huh?
Yep.
In my belly.
Yeah. So with that, I'm gonna pray us out.
There was no questions or nothing with the rest of that?
There is, but it's like the whole chapter. We still got the seed of. You want to do the parable of the mustard seed? I have no problem.
No,
I think
I'm
we
just
should
saying-
finish up.
Okay. Well, no, I'll do the parable of mustard seed. And you want to keep going? I see you moving around. That's why I was at.
No, I'm fine. We did the mustard seed.
And I have done the parable
Yes,
of
it is the
mustard seed.
challenge of the channel of religion.
Right here.
Okay.
I skipped it and read,
Yeah, okay,
read
yeah,
the
you
weeds
skipped
explained.
it. Why are we skipping?
All right. Because I thought you were getting uncomfortable. You were done.
I'm fine.
All right. We're going to do the parable of the mustard seed now.
You shouldn't skip any.
Do you want to read the
I'm
mustard
confused.
seed, John?
Yes.
All right. 31.
He told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of the seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree. So the birds come and preach in its branches.
Perch on its branches.
Perch. Not preach. Oops.
You're fine.
Okay. 33.
You want me to finish that?
You want me to go?
Okay, you can.
This is the parable of the yeast.
Yeah?
He told them still another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough. Jesus spoke all these things to the crowd in parables. He did not say anything to them without using a parable. So was fulfilled what was spoken through the prophet. I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter things hidden since the creation of the world.
Nice, huh?
Mm-hmm. And then we read.
That's from that verse is from Psalms that was written way before Jesus was even born. But it's amazing how many parables Jesus actually completed in this journey.
I think we could completely finish this in more
So
in 30 minutes.
So
we could.
Let's dig in. Anything sticking to you guys about this?
Well, at first let's go the mustard seed. Everyone listens. They always. It's one of the parables a lot of people remember is the mustard seed, the parable of the mustard seed. Smallest seed, okay, planted in his field, and out of the smallest seeds, it's the largest garden plant, and it becomes a tree. So, well, and all the birds come and perch on its branches. I don't know how to break that one down.
Okay. Anything stick out to you? So let's just break it down.
Yeah.
Right? He told another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. All right there. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed. So it's this itty bitty seed, and which a man took and planted in his field.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the field?
The world.
The world?
Yes.
The man's world?
Yes.
The man's world.
I don't know.
All right.
Yes.
So a lot of people take it different ways, so I'm going to just throw it out there, a couple of them. A lot of people say it's the man's heart. A lot of people say it's the man's home. It's the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
It's the world.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of different things out there. Okay.
Me and you, everyone, mustard seed, bird, birds, the witness, witnesses, bird, all the birds come.
Though it was the smallest of all the seeds, yet it grows the largest in the garden of plants. Mm-hmm. So, what's that to basically tell you?
I'm saying, even like the smallest thing, or a lot of people look at it as the non-worthiest thing, or one who's not. It's kind of like the John the Baptist. He looked at himself as not worthy enough to carry Jesus' sandals. Like people that look at themselves as like one of the lowest, or in a way, but he was still able to baptize. He was the one that baptized Jesus with it, and that when we take that parable and this parable, not a parable, the teaching is
which is parables.
Yep, combine them. We are the seed, and we are worthy enough for like the birds to come and feed on us, but we could also in a way, John the Baptist, he was serving God as to baptize. Jesus baptized Jesus as a being, and in the way we are worthy enough to be a servant as the tree and have birds, and we can witness to others in a way.
So, I understand what you're saying there, right? I'm going to put it a little differently on it. But we're going to take it from the same concepts, all right? All right, so I'm going to use your concept. So when we're going out on the streets, and a lot of people have problems with this, they think that they could never actually be out and actually talk about God and stuff like that, or actually do it. The littlest things that we do, like a little mustard seed, is showing kindness, showing love, and stuff. And speak about God. It's like a seed that we throw out there. Mm-hmm. And once you plant that seed, once it falls and hits somebody, it could spring up like a huge tree.
Yep.
We don't know the effect of our seed going into people. Mm-hmm. We don't know what we're doing on it. And I think it's saying when you plant a seed, you have to nourish it until it fully blooms, meaning faith, which gets stronger to where it draws others to have faith. I agree with that too on it. Mm-hmm. I agree with that too. Amazing. And that's on it. That's what basically it's saying is we gotta bring our seed. When we plant our seed, and you don't know where it's going to hit somebody, and it's going to spring up. And the more light we bring on it, the more it gets out there, and stuff. And the other concept is if we take that seed, a little mustard seed, and put it in our hearts, what's God say it's going to do Grow.
Grow.